Welcome to More Than Mindset, the only podcast that bridges the gap between spirituality and success. Go beyond the mind with clarity and confidence coach Kim Guillory and learn how to integrate your passion to serve with your skills and experience to create a business you love. Let's get started.
Billionaire success secrets. That is what I am bringing to you today. This might take me a few episodes to get to, but I just want to let you know how inspired I am from GrowthCon. I was in Vegas all week long. There were 10 self-made billionaires in the room. And oh my God, the being able to hear their story, I was so inspired. Some of the takeaways, let me just tell you the top 3 that I wrote down is what I'm going to take you through today, because this is basically what they all had in common. Number 1, you have to have a desire. What is your desire? You have to have a desire. So you have to set the target. What is the big desire, the big target? What are you focused on? What is your purpose? What is driving you to do what you do? Very first thing, you have to set the desire and let it be known. All of them said that. It's like making a decision, deciding what you want, setting the target. All of them said that across the board, every single person who was interviewed. And then my second takeaway, I know I'm jumping right into these, but then I'm going to break them down, is you have to be willing. So I like to say, if what got you here now is who you are and what you're doing, think about what's going to get you there. It's not going to be who you are and what you're doing now. So are you willing to learn something else? Are you willing to know something else? Are you willing to cut away what you do know, which is super comfortable? Super comfortable. What I know, who I am, is comfortable. Are you willing to get uncomfortable to learn something that you don't know and become someone that you are not yet? That was takeaway number 2. Number 3, there is a system for success, and there are steps within the system. There's steps inside of each one. So for my business clients, there's a 7-step system to get you to 9 figures. So it starts with your first 6 figures, then multiple 6 figures. So you imagine there's steps inside the steps. There's break points for each of these. And then we move into million, multi-million. So I personally can't talk the billions. I can't even see it, can't even count it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But I love the idea that they all had to start at 100,000. And they agreed that getting to the first million was the hardest. So I'm like, geez, I remember how hard it was to get to 6 figures. So this is the beautiful part about the system is, if you haven't done it yet, then look to mentors and successful people who have and borrow their system and then make it your own. Those were the top 3. I'm going to look through my notes real quick that I wrote down over and over. The most important decision is to decide to help people. That is why most of us are in business. And even if that means helping your family, you are doing what you do every single day in order to help someone. That's part of step 1, that desire. What do you desire? I desire to be a provider, an influencer. I desire to be a helper. I desire to teach and show and mentor and work and deliver and serve. That's in step 1. What is the desire that fulfills your heart, your passion, your purpose? What is your desire here on planet Earth? What is the end game, the target of your purpose? I want to help millions of people transform their life, health, wealth, and relationships. So when I'm talking about helping an entrepreneur and a business owner, I'm like, let's go get it all without losing what matters most. And that's a super life. A super life is to succeed in all areas. A super life is about being successful, but still having great relationships that grow with you. And health, because without your body, without this physical vehicle, you can't do anything. Do you know how many successful people end up drugged out, burnt out, sick on the sofa, lonely and isolated? That's another part of this story is that is all subconscious. That is subconscious destruction, and it comes from limiting beliefs and indoctrination. And that was another one that thing that all of these billionaires had in common. Let the haters hate. Success breeds hate. You will have hate. Don't pay any attention to the haters. Let them hate. Just let them hate, and you just keep loving. You just keep serving. You just keep doing. Use the momentum to get away from the hate to drive you forward. That was the very first conversation. I can't even remember who we started with. Hate will happen. It comes with success. It's as if your success is a cake and hate is part of the recipe, like the eggs and the flour and the sugar and the water. Hate is part of the recipe of success. Get over it. Tap out of the emotional part, that needing to belong and needing to be liked and accepted. You got to tap out of that. And you got to tap back into the desire, the purpose, the drive. Why do you do this? What is the target? So whenever I'm thinking about the person who's hating on me, I'm not focused on the millions who are waiting for me. So if I'm focused on the hater, I am not focused on the ones that are waiting. So there's one hater and there's a million waiters. They are waiting for you. Don't let the hate stop you. Instead, make the decision to go for the desire and set the target. Step one, that is step one. All of that is the recipe for step one of deciding. And then you're going to immediately start telling people and start taking steps towards promoting that idea. If my idea is to help millions of people live a healthy and integrated life where success and relationships and health go hand in hand, that is my big idea. Now I start taking action towards it. I start telling people about it. I'm like, hey, we have a free training. We're talking about how you can have it all, how you can succeed in business without losing your health and relationships, how you can be a hustler without messing up your health. Did you know that? Like you could be a hustler and still be in good health and still have great relationships. I like being a hustler. I like getting up and grinding. The only ones who don't are the ones who grind because they're doing something that they don't actually believe in, they don't align with, and they're doing it because they think they need to do it, but it doesn't have anything to do with the target. So their target might be a tiny target where they're just going to impact 10 people, but then they're hustling and grinding like someone who's going to impact a million. Do you see the difference? It doesn't align. So if I know that I'm impacting millions, my grind is aligned with that. So first thing is you're deciding, and then you're taking action towards it. Second thing I talked about is willingness. The willingness to be uncomfortable, the willingness to learn something else. If you are not willing to let go of what has been, you cannot create something else. As long as you are holding on to what you know and you're holding on to old habits and behavior and old intentions that no longer work for you, and you're not willing to learn something else, you're not willing to be uncomfortable, you're not willing to step into the unknown, that's a problem. So you have to be willing to learn. And the last thing, system. You have to have a system. There is a system for everything. So if you are trying to get to your first six figures, I have a system. If you're trying to get to multiple six figures, I have a system. If you're trying to get to seven figures, I have a system. Eight figures, different system. All of these systems are different. So many of you are watching what the successful are doing and you're trying to plug into their system, but it's not where you are. And that's what people are saying whenever they talk about burnout. You're burnt out because you're doing the same thing, but it doesn't solve the real problem. So when you keep doing something over and over and over, but it's the wrong thing, that leads to burnout because it doesn't give you the results. But once you are doing the right thing and you start getting the results, then you just like light up the hustle and you go do more and you go get more results and you're actually in the game and you're playing. So right now, a lot of you are just trying a bunch of things and you haven't figured out what works yet. That's why you're burnt out because you're not actually getting the results. So you have to have a system for where you are. Now, if that's something you're interested in learning more about, I have multiple free trainings coming up that's going to help you identify the problem that you should be solving. And then I will offer you the system to help you get there, whether it's your first six figures, multiple six figures, your first seven figures, eight figures, nine figures. There's a system for all of that. I got you covered. Just find me. Guys, just find me. I'm all over social media and just say, hey, I'm trying to get to my first six figures. I need a system. I'm trying to get to seven figures. I need a system. I'm trying to exit. I need a system. I'm trying to invest in passive income. I want to get into real estate and investments. Then there's a system for that too, my friend. That's probably my biggest takeaway is the actual system for each desire. There's this particular system for each desire. So don't just grab a generalized or generic system. First, decide what it is that you want. And then be willing to learn and be uncomfortable. It feels like eating dirt, by the way. It's pretty nasty. You just keep tripping and falling and getting dirty. And you don't really get anywhere. You don't really get to the end of the sidewalk even. You're just like tripping. That's cool. That's the discomfort. You got to be willing to go through that. And the third system is find the system that aligns with the desire. So find someone who can help you do an assessment that has the system to get where you want to go. That is my main takeaway from the final GrowthCon, 10th GrowthCon 2025. It was amazing. So many amazing guests. Oh my God. Maybe I'll break down each guest and what I learned from them and then do a podcast on each one. I hope you have an amazing week and I see you at one of the next trainings coming up. Make sure to share this with a friend if you know someone who is in business, who wants to grow and scale, maybe even exit, multiply what they're doing to create more impact. I would love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than Mindset.